Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name's Nazarene Veronica and I'm back with another reaction video which I'm very excited to react to. Basically, Andrew Tate disproving the whole plandemic, and he did it in the most genius way. Like, I was watching it and I was like, that's a great way of putting it, because I mean I've been saying that myself, but I'm glad that he said it on mainstream media because no one does. So let's take a look.
For further lockdowns.
You're a very important person and you're very well respected.
I'm not important, I'm a journalist.
No, you're very important and you're very well respected within the UK and you've been famous for a very long time. Were you invited to the party at Downing Street or were you not in that circle?
No.
No? Well, that's a shame.
And I thought the behaviour...
Because they seemed very concerned about COVID on the TV,
and by the way,
they didn't seem to give a shit as soon as the TV was on.
I thought that was disgraceful. And I thought Boris Johnson and the people working at Number 10 who were having those parties, when I had friends of mine who were literally saying goodbye to their mothers on FaceTime on their phone because they weren't allowed in to see them. I knew people in care homes where it ripped through and killed a third of the people in the home in 2 weeks. And the desperation that people felt. I had a cousin who lost his father who couldn't go and see his dying wife and so on. It's
disgusting.
There were terrible stories.
It's criminal.
Terrible stories.
It's disgusting. So let me ask you a question as a professional, because we're both adults and we're both very smart. As a professional, which is more likely? That the government believed COVID was deadly and everybody should be truthfully afraid and locked in their houses, but because they had this spirit inside of them and they couldn't resist the idea of a party, decided to risk their lives to party, or they lied on the television trying to scare everyone and enslave them and lock them in their houses, knowing it's garbage, knowing it's a lie, and not caring, and had a party behind everyone's backs so they didn't think they'd get caught. Which one is more likely as a professional, as a logical human?
Why don't we just agree that they were a bunch of rank hypocrites, stupid people, who were behaving utterly selfishly, to the extent that the Queen, when her husband, Prince Philip, dies, is in the church on her own, in a mass, with none of her family around her after losing a rock of 70 years. And it turned out the night before, Downing Street had, I think, 2 parties, including a karaoke party. I think that was shameful and disgraceful.
Well,
so we can agree on that,
right?
We
can agree on that, and we can wake up and start to realize, oh, maybe the government doesn't care about us. Maybe the government lies to us. Maybe they tell us things and try and scare us, but they don't actually care themselves. Maybe all they are is hypocritical, self-interested people.
Maybe they are.
Maybe they use the MSM to purport their lies, to keep everybody enslaved while they do whatever they want, and that is the matrix in and of itself. And if you speak against it and people listen to you, I'll repeat this. Your ability to speak freely is directly correlated to your insignificance. If you're as big as I was, the most Googled man on the planet telling the truth, you will pay the price, Piers. And that is why I was locked in that cell. And I do not regret it, because I live true to God. I'm not going to sit here as a coward and not tell the truth to people for as long as I live until they put a bullet in my head.
Let me ask you.
Thank you. I love that so much. Just sometimes when it seems like you're the only one who thinks these things, and then someone says the same thing proudly on mainstream media and just completely annihilates any theory of what they tried to push in the past 4 years, it makes me feel so relieved. It's so true. Like, people were like, oh, it's disgusting that the government had these parties whilst everyone else was in their homes and couldn't see their families. They failed to see that they were doing that because they weren't scared. Why weren't they scared? They were sat there in front of the cameras for the TV telling you need to be scared of something that they weren't scared of. It says it all. But you could just see his face, like Piers Morgan's face. Let me try and find a little clip of his face.
Maybe they tell us things and try and scare us, but they don't actually care themselves. Maybe all they are is hypocritical, self-interested people.
Maybe they are.
Maybe they use the MSM to purport their lies, to keep everybody enslaved while they do whatever they want.
He's like sweating. He doesn't know what to do with himself. Oh my gosh. It just reminds me of when I went on Talk TV and I was speaking about all of these things and disproving things they were saying were true. And the guy's face was hilarious. It just makes me laugh so much. I do believe that these presenters or journalists, wherever they want to call themselves, I don't really class Piers Morgan as a journalist. I think he is a mainstream media puppet. He gets paid to get information out of people and he will do anything it takes to get the information out. He's not really a truth seeker. But yeah, what are your thoughts on what they're talking about? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video.